Hello, my fellow patriots. This is Alex with another Disabled Vet's Perspective. Uh, Yesterday, I spoke a little bit about about crony capitalism, and I got a comment from one of my subscribers, and I do appreciate your comments very much. I'm one of these that I encourage negative and positive feedback, and I don't get discouraged either way, because conversation and meeting in the middle requires comments of negative and positive. And this wasn't a negative comment. It was just stating that I mentioned about the crony capitalism, and they stated that Donald Trump's not doing anything about it but making it worse. But one thing to think about is we're talking 1913, when the cabal and the New World Order really was started, with the illegal passing of the Federal Reserve Act that was never legally ratified. So they've had a long time to get everything in place. And when somebody says, well, Donald Trump's not doing anything about it, you got to remember something, that Donald Trump is the president. He has some powers with executive orders. And, there are the separated branches of government for that reason. They don't want to put all the power into one person's lap. So when somebody says that Donald Trump isn't doing anything about it, then he's only a small part of the required procedure to do something about it. He cannot write laws. He can sign law. And, we'll get into the articles and statutes and things like that, but the Constitution is the law. But the point is, the Congress, the House and the Senate, the House writes a bill, it passes to the Senate for its approval. If everybody says yes, or enough people say yes, then it goes to the president and he signs it or vetoes it. But either way, once he signs it, it becomes law. He can't create something. He has to sign something that's been created. But anyway, that was what I was wanting to get across today, was about the president having limitations, and that the system's been in place for a very long time. In 1933, Smedley Butler, a brigadier general, he wrote a book, and in 1933 he was talking about crony capitalism. So again, it shows that this stuff is really, really far back and well entrenched. But anyway, getting that said, I don't know if you noticed, I have a certain blue thing on my head. And if you notice what it says here, my buddy over there at Carl's Opinion had a little contest on his show, on his live call-in show that he does at night. And the question was asked, I answered it, I won, and I got myself a hat. So I am sporting it proudly today. Thank you very much, Carl's Opinion. You have a great show, buddy, and I do enjoy listening to you. I like calling in once in a while just to harass you. I mean, conversation, anyway. But I appreciate the hat. It's quite nice. And also I wanted to mention that Deplorable Bobby, the way I see it, very good man. If you listen to him, he sounds like he's got one of those voices like a I don't know, 1990s or 2000s country music star. Soft-spoken, very clear, got the little southern accent kind of sneaking in there. Just strikes me as a good old country guy that could whip out a guitar and slap down some country music with a voice like that. But anyway, he's great to listen to. Y'all get over there and check these people out. When I mention to people on my show, I highly encourage people to go check them out. You like what they have to say, make sure you subscribe to them. Help them get their viewer base opened up a little bit. Because none of us can do what we do without you. And every one of us is eternally grateful for the people that join us and allow us to speak in this open forum. Because there's a lot of dissentment, there's a lot of suppression, there's a lot of negativity. And you guys that subscribe to our channels help us break through all that negativity, and we get the chance to speak to the world about what we've got bundled up inside of us and the things that we notice. But anyway, I wanted to do this video. Originally was going to be a second part of crony capitalism, but I'm kind of going a little long, and I know we're at the 5.5 minute mark almost, but I'll go ahead and get into it a little bit, but I don't want you guys to lose interest and jump off and head to other channels without finishing hearing what I had to say. But what I wanted to talk about today was just the 501c3 program for not-for-profit corporations and entities like churches and thrift stores and things like that. In a lot of cases, some of the smaller churches, I've seen this personally, where they will do what they can to help their parishioners that join them in their church. But in some of these mega churches, if you look at their books, these people turn over an incredible amount of money. And the one thing I always remember is when in the Bible, I'm not sure exactly the word for word, I memorized the whole thing, but I know that it says that when God says, when you speak of me, there I am. And I'm one of these people that doesn't believe that we were intended to be worshiping God inside of a brick and mortar building. If you look back at the history on Jesus, he was talking to people while he was standing on the dirt and on the banks of the sea and out in the middle of a field. So the thing is, what I'm getting at is I have a nasty feeling that these 501c3 corporations are really just money shelters. And one thing that you might find difficult is to find the donors of these entities, because donors have a right to privacy in most cases. So try to find out who really owns these mega churches. And I bet if somebody did enough research and really dug into it, you might find out that some of the powerful elites own these churches, and it is used for bankrolling and keeping corporate assets sheltered and things like that. It's just so much shady stuff going on in the world. I may be way off, you know. That's why it's called my perspective, because it's the way I see things. And in some cases, obviously, I've got facts and documents, but other things are just kind of, if you just sit back and look at some of this stuff, it's really kind of in your face and bold and all that. But the other example is thrift shops. I've got a couple of reasons why those places really irritate me, and one of them, I happen to be looking for some clothes for my grandkids, and we were in there wandering around. A man comes in. He's homeless. He was kind of beat up. He had a little bit of a scratch on his leg, and his jeans were torn. And he told the lady at the counter, he says, I just got hit when I was riding my bicycle, and his bicycle was out front totally mangled. And he says, I don't have any money, and I'm trying to get down south before the cold weather hits. And he says, I was on my way down there when I got hit. So the guy's limping along, and he says, I need to know if I can get a bicycle and a new pair of pants. And the woman tells him, no, we sell the stuff. If you want a bicycle, you have to buy it. And so I asked her, I said, wait a minute. So this is supposed to be one of those places that helps the people that need it most. And you're telling a man that's standing here bleeding with torn jeans and a mangled bicycle that he just got hit on, that he can't have a pair of jeans or, one of the old bicycles that's out back? I said, that's just insane. And then I looked into it a little further, and I found out that this company, they call themselves non-profit, and that's because of exorbitant salaries that are used to pacify their owners and CEOs. I found out that the owner of this place makes $280,000 a year, and then if they show any profit, then the profit is made into a bonus check for this owner or CEO. So, of course there's no profit because it's given away in salary and bonuses. But the point I'm trying to make here is not everything is what it seems, and most people, most things that are seen are not what they are. There's a lot of shady stuff happening in our world, and all I'm trying to do is just bring some of the stuff to light so that people think about what's going on at least. And eventually changes will happen. I think it's a natural occurring order. When people get tired of things for long enough, then they finally make a change. But I don't know what that trigger point is. But anyway, another kind of a ramble, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit my like button. Maybe it'll stick, maybe it won't. Hit my subscribe, tell your friends about me, because I'm trying to do more videos and I got some neat stuff on the horizon. I don't want to give it away, but start looking for something to pop up next week that might be interesting. And anyway, y'all hit that subscribe, hit that bell, come out and see me. And for now, y'all stay in the fight.